The celebration of the New Year is one of the oldest traditions known to humanity. Across thousands of years, different civilizations have marked the passage of time and the beginning of a new cycle with rituals, festivals, prayers, and celebrations. While today much of the world welcomes the New Year on January 1st with fireworks, countdowns, and parties, this date and its traditions are the result of a long historical journey shaped by astronomy, religion, agriculture, politics, and culture. The history of the New Year is deeply connected to humanity's desire for renewal, hope, and a fresh beginning. Long before modern calendars existed, early humans relied on nature to measure time. They observed the movement of the sun, the changing phases of the moon, and the shifting seasons. These natural patterns were essential for survival because they helped people know when to plant crops, hunt animals, or prepare for harsh weather. Over time, as societies became more complex, people developed calendars to organize daily life, religious ceremonies, and government activities. The beginning of a new year was often linked to natural events such as the spring equinox, the first full moon after harvest, or the flooding of rivers that brought life to the land. The earliest recorded New Year celebrations can be traced back more than 4,000 years to ancient Mesopotamia, particularly the Babylonian civilization. The Babylonians celebrated the New Year during a festival called Akitu, which took place in late March and coincided with the spring equinox. This period symbolized rebirth and renewal, as crops were planted and nature began to bloom again after winter. The Akitu festival lasted for 11 days and involved elaborate religious ceremonies, public celebrations, and rituals meant to honor the gods, especially Marduk, the chief deity of Babylon. During this time, the king's authority was symbolically renewed, emphasizing the belief that divine approval was necessary for a successful year ahead. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Babylonian New Year was the tradition of making promises to the gods. People pledged to repay debts, return borrowed items, or fulfill obligations in the coming year. These promises are considered the earliest form of what we now call New Year's resolutions. The Babylonians believed that keeping these promises would bring favor from the gods, while breaking them could invite misfortune. This idea of starting the year with good intentions has survived for thousands of years and remains a central part of New Year celebrations today. In ancient Egypt, the New Year was closely tied to the natural cycle of the Nile River. The Egyptian calendar was based on the annual flooding of the Nile, which brought fertile soil and ensured successful harvests. The New Year began when the star Sirius appeared in the sky just before sunrise, an event known as its Heliacal rising. This celestial event coincided with the Nile's flood and was seen as a powerful symbol of rebirth and renewal. For the Egyptians, the New Year was not just a change in the calendar but a moment when life itself was renewed. Egyptian New Year celebrations included feasts, music, dancing, and offerings to the gods. The people believed that the New Year restored harmony between the human world and the divine order. Gods such as Osiris, associated with death and rebirth, and Ra, the sun god, played an important role in these celebrations. The emphasis on renewal, balance, and continuity reflects how deeply the concept of the New Year was woven into Egyptian religious beliefs. In ancient China, the New Year developed according to lunar cycles rather than the solar calendar. Chinese New Year, also known as the Spring Festival, has been celebrated for over 3,000 years. It begins on the new moon between late January and mid-February and marks the end of winter and the arrival of spring. Unlike Western New Year celebrations, which often focus on a single night, Chinese New Year festivities traditionally last for several days or even weeks. The Chinese New Year is deeply rooted in family traditions, ancestor worship, and the desire for prosperity and good fortune. Homes are cleaned before the New Year to remove bad luck, and red decorations are used to attract happiness and success. Firecrackers and loud celebrations are meant to scare away evil spirits, particularly the mythical beast known as Nian. Each year is associated with one of 12 zodiac animals, which are believed to influence personality traits and destiny. These traditions continue to play a major role in Chinese culture today, showing how ancient beliefs have survived into the modern era. Ancient Greece also observed the New Year in various ways, depending on the city-state and its calendar. Many Greek New Year celebrations were linked to religious festivals honoring specific gods. In some regions, the New Year was associated with Dionysus, the god of wine, fertility, and celebration. Festivals included theatrical performances, music, dancing, and feasting. The Greeks viewed time as cyclical rather than linear, believing that events repeated themselves in patterns rather than moving in a straight line. This philosophical view influenced how they understood the passage of years and the meaning of renewal. The Romans played a crucial role in shaping the modern New Year. Originally, the Roman calendar began in March, which explains why months like September, October, November, and December are named after numbers that no longer match their position in the calendar. March was considered the start of the year because it aligned with agricultural cycles and the beginning of military campaigns. However, as Roman society evolved, the need for a more organized system became clear. In 153 BCE, the Roman Senate officially moved the start of the new year to January 1st. This change was made to coincide with the inauguration of new consuls, who were the highest elected officials in Rome. January was named after Janus, the Roman god of beginnings, endings, doors, and transitions. Janus was often depicted with two faces, one looking backward at the past and the other looking forward to the future. This symbolism made January a fitting time to reflect on what had been and what was yet to come. Romans celebrated the new year by exchanging gifts, decorating their homes with greenery, and making offerings to Janus for good fortune. These customs laid the foundation for many traditions that still exist today. In 46 BCE, Julius Caesar introduced the Julian calendar, which further solidified January 1st as the official New Year's Day. The Julian calendar established a year of 365 days with a leap year every 4 years, creating a more accurate system for tracking time. After the fall of the Roman Empire, New Year celebrations became less consistent, especially during the Middle Ages. Christianity played a major role in shaping attitudes toward the New Year. Many Christian leaders viewed traditional New Year festivities as pagan and discouraged their celebration. As a result, different regions marked the New Year on different dates, such as March 25th, which was associated with the Annunciation, or December 25th, which marked the birth of Jesus Christ. In some places, the New Year was even celebrated on Easter, leading to widespread confusion. Despite official disapproval, people continued to observe the New Year in their own ways. Feasts, prayers, and local customs persisted, reflecting humanity's enduring desire to mark the passage of time and hope for a better future. Over time, the need for a standardized calendar became increasingly important, especially as trade and communication expanded across Europe. In 1582, Pope Gregory XIII introduced the Gregorian calendar to correct inaccuracies in the Julian calendar. Over centuries, the Julian system had drifted out of alignment with the solar year, causing seasonal events like Easter to occur earlier than intended. The Gregorian calendar refined the leap year rules and restored balance between the calendar and the Earth's orbit around the Sun. January 1st remained the official start of the new year under this new system. Although Catholic countries adopted the Gregorian calendar almost immediately, Protestant and Orthodox nations were slower to accept it. Some countries did not switch calendars until the 18th or even 20th century. Despite initial resistance, the Gregorian calendar eventually became the global standard, establishing January 1st as New Year's Day for much of the world. In the modern era, New Year celebrations have become a global phenomenon. In the United States, New Year's Eve is marked by parties, fireworks, and countdowns to midnight. One of the most famous traditions is the Times Square ball drop in New York City, which began in 1907 and has since become a symbol of New Year celebrations worldwide. Millions of people watch as the illuminated ball descends, marking the final seconds of the old year and the beginning of the new one. Around the world, different cultures continue to celebrate the new year in unique ways. In Spain, people eat 12 grapes at midnight, one for each month of the coming year, in hopes of good luck. In Japan, the new year is a time for reflection, purification, and family gatherings. Bells are rung at temples to cleanse people of worldly desires, symbolizing a fresh spiritual start. In Scotland, the celebration known as Hogmanay includes fire festivals and the tradition of first footing, where the first visitor of the year is believed to bring luck.